Okay, we're now coming towards the end of Genesis. We're now in chapter 32. And this is the key chapter here's where Jacob was wrestling with the angel. And the angel put his thigh out of joint. And they're wrestling with each other, playing kind of, the way men did in those days. And he's asking Jacob to tell him his name, and Jacob won't tell him his name, and they're back and forth playing about it. And then he tells him, your name will no longer be Jacob. Your name will be Israel. For as a prince that has power with God and with men, and you have prevailed. Okay. So the angel, and he said, wherefore it is thou, did you ask my name, And that's why you won't ask my name. And he blessed him there. Jacob blessed the angel there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And he passed over Peniel as the sun rose upon him. And he halted upon his thigh because he was having a hard time with his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this very day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. The same Israel that's in the Middle East today. It's weird when I say that. I mean, it's like, how can people not believe in the Bible? How can people not believe in the story of God when there's a Jacob who his name turned into Israel, and that Israel is there today? And all the people around him, the various people that, well, as long as you know, that's the most important part. All right, so anyway, okay, that's all chapter 32. We are now getting ready to go into chapter 33. Oh, boy. When Jacob is scared, and Jacob looked with his eyes, Jacob lifted up his eyes, and lo and behold, it was over on the other mountains, he saw Esau. Esau came with 400 strong men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children first, Leah and her children after that, and Rachel and her son Joseph after in the end. And he passed over before them and bowed before the ground 7 times as he came unto Esau. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. This is key for 2 reasons. I'll explain in a minute. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are all these people? Who are all these? Who are all these people with you? And Jacob said, these are the children that God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, what meanest, and Esau said, what meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And Jacob said, these are to find grace in your sight, O my, the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep thou these things unto yourself. And Jacob said, nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, and as though I've seen the face of God, and that thou wast pleased with me. Oh, this is so wonderful in a way. I'll explain. Take thee, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and Esau did take it all. It took some stuff. And he said, let us take our journey. and let us go. I will go before thee. And he said to him, my Lord, that's what Esau said. Now Jacob says, my Lord, the children are tender, and the flocks with the herds with the young are with me. If the men should overdrive them one day, all the flocks will die. In other words, we've been out here traveling. we're going a long distance. If your men just rode a little too fast, that would kill all of us. You know. Let my Lord, I pray, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according to as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come to my Lord in Seir. And Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what do you need? Let me find grace. Let me find grace in the sight of the Lord. So Esau returned that day with on his way to Seir, and Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle before the name of the place. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, which he came from when he came from Pandamaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of the land which he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 400 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it Eliol Israel. All right. But there's a major thing missing here. And let me see if I can find it, if it's over here. It was where Esau told Jacob. He understood that the Lord wanted him to go on to Laban's house. And he understood what the Lord was, in the way he kind of knew what the Lord was doing. That Jacob had to get the blessing, but that's not in this Bible. Anyway, and that was chapter 33. Now we're in chapter 34. Okay. Here in chapter 34, remember, they had 11 sons. They're going to have 12 in all. But for right now, they have 11, and they have one sister named Dinah. Now, Dinah, chapter 34, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, went out to see the daughters of the land when they got to Shechem. And she comes out and checking everybody out. When Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife, Dinah. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now the sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until, he held his peace about what happened to his daughter. Okay. Then Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had brought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to have been done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longed for your daughter. I pray thee, give her to him to wife. And, make your marriages with us, and your daughters with our children, our daughters, our families, and take our daughters into your families. And you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade you therein, and get your possessions therein. And Shechem said unto his father, and unto his brothers and all them, let me find grace in your sight. Let me find grace in your sight, and whatever you say, I will give you. Okay? Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according to whatever you ask me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor and his father deceitfully and said, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, that you make each male of you guys circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young men deferred not to do this thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Okay, and Hamor and Shechem and his sons came unto the gate of their city. In other words, they came back to tell everybody, okay, y'all, these men are at peaceable with us. Therefore, let them dwell in our land and trade with us. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them and us. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And Hamor and unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearken all that went out of the gate of the city, and every male was circumcised, and all that went out of the gate of his city were all circumcised. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took each man his sword, and they came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. Woo! And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son, and all with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of their Shechem's house, and it went out. And the sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that was which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and all their wives, they took captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said unto Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me to make me a stink amongst the inhabitants of the land, amongst the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I will be, and being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed and my house. And they said unto him, should he deal with our sister as a harlot? Okay. Now, you saw what happened. There's not too much I need to explain. They wanted her, their sister Dinah. This man wanted Dinah real bad. And he went through all this stuff and he raped her. And, you know what I mean? And they were like, okay, yeah. And first, Jacob didn't want to do too much about it, because he's they're new in this particular land. And it's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them. They have a lot of sons, the 11 sons, and a few men hanging out with them, but or working with them, servants and different things like that. But they're not enough to be fighting a land like these people over here. But he says a key little line here that's very key. When Shechem and them took it back to their family, took it back to their guys in their city to tell them what was going on. He says, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Remember, everybody knew about this blessing, these blessings. And everybody wanted to be part of, first it was Abraham, then it was Isaac, and now it's Jacob. And everybody wants to be part of this and stuff. And it's like, everything they got is going to be ours, y'all. You know what I mean? All we got to do is get circumcised. That's all we got to do. You know what I mean? And everybody's thinking, yeah, hey, we'll all get rich. And we'll all be, So the men, of course, got circumcised. 3 days later, when they were good and sore, the two brothers, Simeon and Levi, they came and got themselves together. And while all the men were sore, they came in and killed everybody. And killed everybody in the whole town. Killed everybody. And stuff. And Jacob was upset about that because it was like, the word's going to get out that y'all did this, people are going to come against us. And we're not even 30 people here. You know what I mean? So that's why he was upset. But they were like, that was our sister. She's not going to be treated like some kind of harlot out there. Woo! Really interesting. I bet some of y'all didn't know that all this was in the Bible. Let me tell you something on that note. I find it the most wonderful thing when I hear people say, I didn't know that was in the Bible. Oh, I didn't know. That's what connects that story. Oh, that's what happened. I love when I hear people say that. That lets me know that they're finally understanding the Bible, simple and basic. You know what I mean? So I love when I hear people say that. I'm hoping that some of you are thinking, I didn't know all this was in the Bible. Okay. All right.